as a family to celebrate their 65th wedding anniversary. Because of you, family heritage, it's not new. That's where we came from, me and you. Our Grandpa George and Grandma Vi, their love for each other, it will never die. Hard work, loyalty, and some fun too. That is how they made it through. 65 years, 72 now. Who would have thought? They give to us with all their heart. Time will pass, it will come and go. Family values is what they know. They taught us each what they could. To pass it on is well and good. Faith in God, family, and each other. That is what holds us together. Thank you, Grandpa and Grandma, for all you have been. Your shining light will never dim. Some memories, fun memories of camping trips. We would go to Storm Lake, Black Hawk Lake, and even the Spencer Fair. Grandpa and Grandma let Stacy and I get away with far more than we should have. But boy, did we have fun. Things I will dearly miss. The feel of his tight single-arm hugs. And the smell of his collar as I nestled into for a hug. His warm-hearted laugh. Grandpa has been with me for every major life event. Graduation from high school and college, marriage, traveling to see me while in the hospital with the birth of my 2 children, death of my grandfather-in-law, traveling all the way to Bellevue to spend time, confirmation into the Catholic faith, and even being at my bedside for the many surgeries for bleeding complications. He has held my hand, gave me kisses and hugs, given me loving support, and even a stern talking to at times. I even remember him scolding me for being in a bar at age 28 with Jay. Being the older one, I just couldn't understand why he was scolding me. It is hard for me to imagine my life without him. While that is difficult to think about, what gives me such comfort is knowing that he is at peace in heaven. That lucky son of a gun. Grandpa, I love you so much. I look forward to the day I get to feel your hug and hear your laugh again.
I was just sharing this in the car with my family on the way here today. A funny memory I have of Grandpa is one of the favorite things for Heidi and Jesse and the granddaughters and I to do is when we went to Grandma and Grandpa's, we would dress up in all of Grandma's old square dancing outfits and play. And one time I brought one of my friends from school, Holly, and she was really super thin. We were probably like 13 or something, and we put all the dresses on and we went upstairs to show Grandma and Grandpa, and Grandpa looked at Holly and then he looked at Grandma and said, "I don't ever remember you being that thin." And Grandma was so mad, she told her, "She has it pinned in the back." I'm going to share some memories that from several other family members now. The one thing I could never understand is why Grandpa always cut the corn off the cob. Everyone else would eat it right off the cob, and he would always cut it off. Then someone told me he had false teeth. I remember the time Grandpa and Grandma took my sister and I camping in Storm Lake. We were sitting outside with the people next to our campsite. I don't know what happened, but the wife came out of the camper and hit her husband with a shoe, and I have never seen Grandpa laugh so hard. But the biggest thing I remember is going and shelling corn with Grandpa. I got to go up in the corn cribs and kick the corn down, and then have lunch and dinner with him and all the other guys that were there. A really funny thing is when the guys were all having lemonade or water on a hot day, you'd look over and always see Grandpa with a hot cup of coffee. Grandpa said I had to clean my plate to have dessert. I looked at my plate, and I looked at my mom's plate, so I scraped all my food onto my mom's plate, and Grandpa said, "Well, I didn't tell him how to clean his plate." 4-H, and I would make pies for the fair. Grandpa was always there for the judging, and the minute he was done being judged, he went over to the bake sale. He would always be right there to buy the pie I made. He was always there to support me. When Grandpa and Grandma lived on the farm, Diane, Stephanie, and I would play on Grandpa's tractor and mower, pretending to be farming just like Grandpa. I'll never forget our camping trips with Grandpa and Grandma. One time in particular was when Stephanie and I stayed with Grandpa and Grandma during the Spencer Fair. There was a concert that night at the grandstand, and Stephanie and I really wanted to stay up and listen to the music from our campsite. Unfortunately, we were told to go to bed. But just when we thought Grandpa and Grandma were asleep, Stephanie and I cracked open the window just a little bit to listen to the concert. Within seconds, we heard, "Shut that window up there." We never shut a window so fast. We realized we couldn't get anything past Grandpa. There's so many memories, but the fondest memory is whenever you say goodbye, he gives everyone a hug and says, "I love you." My first vivid memory of Grandpa George is when I was in the 1st grade and they took me on vacation to South Dakota. Grandpa teased me that I packed my worst pair of shoes, so he went and bought me a new pair. I also remember eating in a restaurant that served fish with the head still attached, so I ordered a grilled cheese sandwich. I have a lot of memories of Grandpa through the years, picking sweet corn in the summer, how he did not like us to move his tools in the garage, going to church together, spending Christmas Eve with the whole family. Not many families can say they spend holidays with 5 generations of their family. I'm truly proud that my grandpa is a World War II veteran and leaves us with the legacy of having been married for 72 years. This marriage was founded on love and the ability to work together, and it began with $20 and 2 dozen eggs in 1942. My last memory of Grandpa is when the doctor came in and told him he had days to weeks to live. The doctor asked if he was afraid, and Grandpa said no. "I just want to go back and spend the rest of my time that's left with Grandma." I don't know why, but for some reason, one of the fondest memories that comes to my mind is my parents were in California, and I can't remember why, but Grandpa and Grandma had come to stay with us at our house. One night, we really wanted grilled cheese and tomato soup. Grandma made homemade tomato soup, not from the can, and it had chunks of tomatoes floating in it. Needless to say, Grandma made me eat every bite of it, and I did not eat tomato soup for years after that. Doesn't seem that uncommon, though, that Grandpa always made us eat whatever Grandma prepared. I remember sitting at the table, rolling out Grandpa buns, Grandpa always getting out his wallet so we could go get ice cream at the gas station next door. Lots of hours of playing slapjack and doing word finds, and just how excited I would be when I got to walk into a game during